about 50 centimeters long. And I always tell the kids it's about the size of my little finger, pinky finger. At the end, it is oblique because you can use a laryngoscope, but the laryngoscope, when you put it into the mouth, it's taking a lot of the space of the mouth. So what we prefer to do is take the bronchoscope, with the bronchoscope go under the epiglottis, lift the epiglottis and go through. And when you go through, this is the vocal cords, you don't go through like this. You turn the bronchoscope sideways, so you go like this. You push aside one of the vocal cords and you go like this. This bronchoscope has these holes. What are these holes for? What do you think? Why? It's better to ventilate straight forward. Why do you have the holes to ventilate? When you go with a rigid bronchoscope, you have a foreign body, for example, you go to the right main bronchus, you have inside the right main bronchus here, so you can still ventilate to the other bronchus. That's what it's for. At the proximal end, you have the opening, then you look through and go through with your instrument. You have a side port. This was originally meant for ventilation. You connected a tube that was connected either with a ventilation machine or with a balloon, and you ventilated the patient. And in former times, this port was used when you went through, you took the forceps or instruments to go through. Nowadays, we use it differently. We use this for jet ventilation. You have a jet cannula over there, yeah. So you put this cannula on top, and you connect it to a compressor that is driven by oxygen and air, and the jet is blown into the bronchoscope. And as I explained this morning, this is what we call Venturi effect. So when the jet goes in here, it has what we call entrainment. Air is also pulled in from here. So as it's going this way, it's not going out only forward, it even sucks in air from outside.
100 cycles per minute?
There is low frequency jet ventilation, that's 20 per minute, 20 pulses per minute, but I like high frequency jet ventilation, you know. The mechanism is like this, you know, like you have your coffee and you put in milk and stir it. So it's no controlled ventilation, you know. You don't have control about of the volume that you blow in, tidal volume, you know, because it's not a closed system. So the only thing you control the ventilation is with the pulse oximetry. Usually during routine bronchoscopy for routine diagnosis or before intervention, that's lasting half an hour or so, CO2 clearance is safe enough. Only when you have very long procedures, then you can CO2 clearance can become a problem. Then you have to ventilate the patient afterwards to get rid of the CO2. So now we have this instrument, and we can go inside the airways. But I always tell the students, what are the parents of endoscopy? What do you need to do endoscopy to see inside the body?
Scope.
You need a light, scope we have, but in addition, when you go to the stomach, so you need air. In the airways we don't need to have the air, we only need air for ventilation. So light and air are the parents for endoscopy. So what is missing? Light. And this is why they have here this glass fiber rod. This glass fiber rod is inserted here. There's when you look at it, you see there's a kind of rail that you insert that. And then from the hot light source, change that here. And now we have light. Okay. In the beginning, we always introduced the bronchoscope like this. So you look through and you introduce it, but when you look through, what do you recognize? It's a very clear, very large image. No, it's very small. When you look through, the tube is very long, the image becomes very small, and when you are in the oral cavity, you have a lot of secretions, you have a sturdy guy with a short neck, a lot of tissue there. Orientation becomes very, very difficult, especially when you have a guy in emergency with bleeding and so on. So it's very difficult to go in there. So what we do is we use an optic, we call it optic. It has also light. You see? So you see something, so you put it inside, and we have a camera. Do we have a camera? Yeah. So now you can easily see. Yeah? So when I take my finger now in front, you see I have much better vision. So that's how we currently insert the bronchoscope. I do it without laryngoscope. So you have to take both instruments and go through with both instruments. When you hold it like this, it's very clumsy. You have to imagine, especially if we are not in the pediatric rigid bronchoscopy course with pediatric instruments, they are going down to 2.5 millimeters. They are very small instruments. You have, I have premature children like that. And they are like a little chicken on a spit, you know. And you have to be very careful because you see this is a long instrument, and when you touch it here, it's like a lever. So when you make small movement here, just a small movement at the tip, it makes a very big movement. And you have to be under control. Yeah? So when you take it like this, yeah, you have to do the whole thing with your wrist or with your arm, and you don't have good feeling for the control. So what you have to do basically is take the instrument, yeah, to have it very, very slightly, and so just with your fingers, yeah, you can move it and you feel all the resistance. And to keep the optic in place, so you see something, you rest the optic here, yeah? Yeah? And then with your fingers, you can easily move it. Yeah? And it should always look very easy. Okay, so this is how we introduce the instrument. To introduce the instrument, you have to protect the teeth and have a wide mouth. So what you do is, because you have, sometimes you have to turn the head, this index finger is going to the upper gum. With this, you navigate the head. With the middle finger. With the index finger, you protect the lower teeth. This one is a very stiff guy. He is already pretty bad, and dead people are stiff, you know, so normal people are more flexible.
We don't use a mouthpiece.
Usually I don't use it if you have a patient with loose teeth or some problems with distension, so then you take a mouthpiece. But the mouthpiece already, again, takes some of the lumen, some space, and you need a lot of space like this patient. So you go in here, you protect the lower jaw here, the upper jaw with your thumb, and the thumb is picking up the pressure. So my thumb already, after thousands and thousands of bronchoscopies, you know, has this dent. You can have it in your hand.
دكتور من فضلك. دكتور من فضلك، الحاجة دي ليكوا على فكرة، الميديا دي ليكوا.
بسجلها
عشان نعرف نشتغل برضه ونشوف.
So we'll do that later. I will show everybody how you do it. So keep it a little bit away, because when you are too far out, when you don't see the tip of the instrument, and you go forward, you see there is a difference here. When you are at the larynx and you insert with the larynx, you insert the probe, you can be with the optic, you can be inside, but with this you can tear off the vocal cord. So important is you always see that. This is why I rest the bronchoscope, the optic, I rest it here on my hand, and just squeeze it a little bit so it cannot slip. Now I can move it up, and then slip it down. Yeah. So you have it here, and then with this movement take it with your thumb, you go under the tongue, you lift the tongue, you see the epiglottis, you go under the epiglottis, and then you rotate the instrument 90 degrees to go between the vocal cords, and then you can let it drop, fall off, so the dorsal part is against the dorsal wall of the trachea, and you have clear vision and can go through with your instrument wherever you want. Okay. So when I'm buried, like in Egypt, and 2,000 years from now, they dig me up, they see my thumb, and they think, oh, he must have been a bronchoscopist. Okay, so we go inside. I take the pressure on my thumb, never on the teeth, always on my thumb. Here we are at the hard palate. This is the uvula, so I know that's the midline. Then I go up and lift up the tongue, and in the anesthetized patient, in contrast to here, in the anesthetized patient, the epiglottis is falling down. Yeah? So you have to go under the epiglottis and lift the epiglottis so you see the vocal cords. Sometimes it's difficult when the epiglottis is shorted, so it always slips away. So then you can go even farther down until you are behind the larynx and almost entering the esophagus. Then you lift it up and just pull it back. And then once you are in front of the larynx, it will fall down, the epiglottis will be open. So we go down here again. You see the epiglottis here is open. This is the base of the tongue. And then I go with a short movement, I go under the epiglottis. I see the vocal cords. You see I have the pressure on my thumb. I turn the instrument. I go inside. So now I'm inside. And now I can observe everything. If I want to see the left main bronchus, or start with the right main bronchus, I have to turn the head to the left side, to bring the trachea in one line with the right main bronchus. Then I can go down with the optic, and then I can see all the branches of the several airways here. When you have a foreign body, you have to go down there, pick it out with the forceps. That's the upper lobe here. That's this is the right. I turned it in the middle, so this is the right orientation. Upper lobe here at 1 o'clock, middle lobe 12 o'clock, apical segment S6 at 5 to 6 o'clock, which is very convenient. 6 is at 6. Usually it's a little bit more to the right side, and then you go down, then comes number 7, and then the 3 segments of the basal group, like we call this star constellation Orion, has a belt, 3 stars. And so they are this direction on the right side and this direction on the left side. 8, 9, 10. Good. Okay. When you do the opposite maneuver, when you go to the left main bronchus, always see the tip of the bronchoscope, turn the head, turn it a little bit to the right.
With the lens inside the scope.
I always want to see it, you know, and always you have to see the tip, you know. I show you when I don't rotate now, yeah, so much. I'm outside with the optic. And with the optic I go inside the left main bronchus. And now I don't see it. It's a little bit hard to move it. Yeah, and you see that you hit the bronchus or the carina with the tip of the rigid bronchoscope, and you can make it here. So when you move the bronchoscope, always hit the tip. And usually when you move that, you have two guides for the light sources. So it's always pulled this way, so the lip of the bronchoscope, the longer part of the bronchoscope, is also always on the dorsal wall. So you turn the head to the left side and go down into the left main bronchus, and then with the optic you can go down up below S6. Then you can once you intubate the bronchus and you have straight line, then it's easy to go with the optic. But you have to go inside because you see, because of the attachment here, the bronchoscope cannot go from the trachea down to the lower lobes because it's not long enough. No, it's not long enough. So when I'm staying here, go back. Now I'm back in the trachea, and now I want to move with the bronchoscope. I want to move into the lower lobe. I'm stuck. I cannot go on. The optic, telescope optic is not long enough. So when you want to have a foreign body, we have this kind of forceps now. This is good for foreign bodies, very. Yeah. You go down here, and then you have to go down to the lower lobe. Now I don't see the lower lobe, so I have to go down with my rigid bronchoscope into the right main bronchus, the left main bronchus, and now I can see even the forceps goes even further forward than the optic, and I can go down here. That's the end. Let's say this is a foreign body here. I open up the forceps, take the foreign body, and remove it. Yeah. So this is how you handle the bronchoscope. I think this is the most important thing that you have to know. Sometimes, when, as you see here, when the mouth is not very wide, it's better to go through the edge of the mouth because you have more space to do. Yeah?
How can we do this with optical forceps? Removal of the foreign body.
That's also possible. The optical forceps is safely connected with the telescope. Yeah? So you put it on here, and there is a lever. You close that. Yeah? So it's safely fixed. As you see, it's very easy to see it because it's always in front. With the other instrument, non-optical forceps, you always have to navigate with the optic to see the tip of the forceps. It's a little bit more awkward, but sometimes, for example, for very big foreign bodies and so, you need big forceps that cannot be connected with it. Yeah? Okay. So, I suggest that we just start one after the other to start to handle the system. Yeah? So, take the optic. And connect to light source. Then also, sometimes the camera is this way. How do you know the correct position of the camera?
فضلك
You go with your finger, you go to the front.
ارجع ورا شويه.
And so you see it's not from the side. So you have to move it so the camera so it's your finger is on the front. Because when your camera is set the wrong way. So now you go in, yeah? And then everything is upside down, and then you make the wrong movement. Yeah? So it's very important that before you start, you set the camera. Yeah? Usually the camera is set so that this looks up. Yeah? Yeah? But sometimes if you turn here in the camera, you can adjust the sharpness, the focus. So what I do is I look inside the endoscope and I see the light guide now. There's a light guide inside. It's sharp. And then you fix it here. And now when you move your fingers a little bit this way, yeah, you move your fingers a little bit this way. Move it so I see the tip. You have the feeling, as I showed you. You have it here. You just move with your fingers. Yeah? Can you? You still have the whole wrist. Yeah, I can do it just with the fingers. But you have to rest it here. Good. Okay. So now we should start.
صعب جدا.
This one here, this is light source for the rigid bronchoscope. This was for the ventilation, and the oblique one here is for the jet. Yeah? He has only one cable. Usually we have a split cable. Yeah? That's one here, and it's split, so you can have one at the bronchoscope and one at the optic.
دكتور من فضلك. من فضلك.
Yeah, but what you saw is that more light. You mean it's more light here. And also the light source. You have the ventilation in front, and when you have no counterweight against it, you always turn back, and then you always have the lip of the bronchoscope to the front, and you want to have it to the back, so the light source keeps it. So. And it's to the back, and you can easily work in front. Lost. You passed. Now you see the and push it. Go to the left, to the left, to the left. Go back again. When you lose vision, go back to one clear line. Yeah? Okay, so now see the tip of the instrument. Yeah? Hold it with your thumb. Now you go down. And now lift up. It takes quite some pressure. Yeah? Go forward and rest it. And go a little bit to the side. And now you can let go back. Yeah? So now you can go forward. As you see, now it's your handling, now it's a little bit awkward. So turn your hand, just leave it, let it go. Yeah? It will go this way, and you take your hand like I showed before, so it will have a feeling for the resistance. Yeah? Always see the tip of the bronchoscope. Yeah. Left. Yeah. Exactly. So now you go forward. Okay. So now you are there, and now you can move the optic back and forth. Yeah? Okay. Now you pull it out. The next one. So you have to see the other changes. So you can just hold the picture. Take your hand and go below. Look at you have to rotate it because the lip has to be forward. This way. And you have to see. Now you hold that One finger is here, the other side. And when you move your fingers, just your fingers, you see,
Doctor.
very good control. Right? Okay. So you look with your finger, where the front is front. Use the index back, it's also good. Yeah. And now, this finger stabilizes the hand because somehow, you know, the patient is very flexible and so and so. When you only put here and you push it, you can lose control. And when you are in the neck, you know, and turn the head, the right is more right or left. So this keeps control of the hand. This protects the lower. Just relax, put it around your finger, not so stiff. Yeah? Like this, like, you know, or like this. And then with your thumb, this is important, the thumb takes all the pressure, yeah? So now you go in. And your thumb should be under the bronchoscope. Now with this, you lift the thumb. So first you have to always do it under visual control. Yeah? There is the uvula. The uvula shows that you are in the midline. Yeah? And then you go down, you lift the tongue, and you see the epiglottis. So now you go with the instrument under the epiglottis, and now push with your thumb. Push with your thumb. And go, push it out. Now you rotate it. And now you can let it go. Let it go. And go forward. But always see the tip. Okay, sure. Keep it up. Yeah, don't go to the force of what? With your thumb, hold it out, and then play down, pushing up. Always inside the loop, not too much to the torso. Yeah, that's not good. Yeah, you see, you have your resistance. So when you go to the dorsal wall, you have to lift it up. Yeah, and then you can go forward. Yeah? And now we turn the head to the left side. Then you can go down. You don't cross the upper lobe often because you want to see the upper lobe. Yeah? There are rigid optics. There is one, you see, that's a little bit oblique. That's when you go to the upper lobe, you look a little bit to the side so you can see the upper lobe. And now you can hold the bronchoscope and go only with the optic. Now you can let go. And you take the optic, then you go down with the optic, yeah, and the lower lobe comes down.
You can only do 1% in the basic steps.
No. You can, you know, it's so flexible when you have a big tumor, or when you have a tumor in the upper lobe, flexible biopsy was negative. You take this, the forceps, you see the forceps is going a little bit around the corner, a little bit around this way, so you can see it, and you can go and really press the thing into the entrance of the upper lobe and take big biopsies from the upper lobe.
Not to the segmental level.
Not in the upper lobe, to the segmental. Middle lobe you can go to the branch, lower lobe you can go to the branch, left and right upper lobe you cannot go into the segments, so that's not.
If it's lower lobe, no. Cannot, the apical segment of the lower lobe cannot be entered.
Yeah, just the opening of the lower lobe can be entered. I can show to you. To make sure that not our stuff is falling out. So you see the optic is looking, the forceps is looking forward. When I go to the segments, this 6 segment,
Do we need the scope with this kind of biopsy forceps? Can I do with the forceps, the optical forceps?
that's the optical forceps.
Can I go with the optical forceps without the bronchoscope itself? What is inside the bronchoscope? Can I go without?
No. Not allowed. With the bronchoscope you want to do inside?
Yeah, with the optical forceps.
Yeah, but how will the patient manipulate?
So
How will it manipulate? No, you cannot do that. What I do sometimes, when the mouth is very narrow and the anesthesiologist has problems with intubation, I take the oral tracheal tube on the optic, only on the optic, go through like, this is still a triangle tube, and I have the optic inside, I have the rigid bronchoscope, and without the bronchoscope and with the guide of the rigid optic, I still can do the implication because I lose much less space without the laryngoscope than the anesthesiologist. So frequently when the anesthesiologist comes and says the patient cannot be intubated, I still can do it because I don't need the laryngoscope. So in this case, the different, usually the S6 segment should look this way. Now. Yeah, that's the upper lobe. The upper lobe should be this way. I go down with the instrument because of the optic towards S6. This is S6, yes. Now I cannot get there easily. So I turn the instrument around. Yeah? And now, with the forceps, when I push here, I can go inside S6 and flex it and take marks in S6 also. But you have to see that the optic and the forceps then has, you have to turn it upside down. So it's looking back the camera is in a different way. So the camera is always upright. So I go down and then I push the instrument back and push it.
Doctor.
The same other way around. If I go to the middle lobe, I have to go up and then into the middle.
Did you use the optical forceps through the regular endotracheal tube?
No, regular endotracheal tube is cannot do it because the endotracheal tube, once the endotracheal tube is inside the airway, it's always bent.
To the right here?
No, it is bent around the curve. Yeah, the larynx. You cannot bend with the rigid. There's no point. So it's right. So we take away the forceps because with the forceps you cannot get in. So always see that the lip is at the front. Okay? That's good, exactly. With this you can easily you see on the monitor, you see the tip of the bronchoscope, and I go this way because it is a little here I hold it and then still you can move the fingers. See how easy it is to do. So now we go inside. Good. Look at the monitor. First look at the U, okay. I just want to try to use the right thing. Yeah. So look at the midline. So you see the U line. Then you go forward. You lift the tongue. First lift the tongue. Obviously. Here it's easy because the epiglottis is always open. You see, but clearly see the epiglottis. Then go down under the epiglottis. Then lift up and push with your tongue. And rotate, but always see the tip of the endoscope, because otherwise you can turn it out. And now you can, and it goes, usually because here we have the light source, the endoscope will flip inside, and so the lip is lying dorsally, and then you have a free move to the new.
What do you prefer the deep and dorsally?
Because when you have the lip ventrally, it always obviates your vision going down. And also with handling of the instruments, it's always interfering, You see when you have it here, you see how it's interfering with your vision, how hard it is to see it. But when you go forward, you always have to see it. Yeah? So you cannot leave it this way, and just pass with the optic. Because now we don't see the tip of the bronchoscope and you can hit and damage the bronchial. Yeah? And also, it's easier because the light source that you usually have here, the light source will always pull it this way. And then the jet ventilation is here, so it's the easiest way to handle. Okay? In this case, we don't have the simultaneous light source with the optic. visualization of the tip. Okay, you go now. Stay always see the tip and move it down where you have to press it, lift it a bit, turn right, exactly. Yeah, you already passed the envelope posture. Yeah, because you want to see all, so you have to go back a little bit. Here is the envelope posture. See? And then you can do the development. Okay?
I'm afraid that because mostly entry there's no way
It is very flexible. It's very flexible. And you always, when you always see the tip, you don't see the tip. You end up always see the tip. Yeah. I do it from the front. You know, you always see it, and when you always have to see the tip. And when you just lift the tip a little bit up, so you're staying away from cutting the middle. It's very safe. The only unsafe thing is when you really don't see the tip. This finger navigates the hand. And this pushes away, make it not so stiff. You know? Yeah, that's better. And this keeps the pressure from the tip. Yeah? Push with the thumb. And what you do is just in the tip.
The scoop touch.
So now you let it go. You keep the object upright. Go with your hands. This side. So you know you keep the object upright. See the tip. And now you push forward. This is still. Always not this is still here. This is the thumb is here, and this is here. Once you are inside, the lower teeth are safe. The upper teeth are still not protected. So you always your thumb has always to turn the head, you know, to stabilize the whole system. Because when you don't fix the head, you just have your fingers here. The head will, some of the girls, you know, they have long hairs, have a knot here, and they are lying on that, you know, and they always turn this way. So I take a small rubber ring to rest the head, but it's important because once you are that's all over complication. But this is a very secure Yeah, you see, as endoscopist, interventionist, you have to be also thoracic surgeon. Yeah. We always stand beside so I can interfere. When you do this, you're always tending to push the object too much forward. You have to stand with your hand in front of them. Then you can move it with your hand. You see, I can move it. Sometimes I just take it up, and so that's about the right distance. You look like this one. So with your hand, you rest it here. That's better. So now see the tip. Look at this side. Okay. The middle finger here. Thumb here. Push it, not too straight. You always have to You know, everything has to look very easy. You know? So your hand is like this. This is the middle finger, is resting here. This is the index finger, and this is your, yeah, that's much better. Your thumb is under the instrument. Good. And now you lift up. And you are too far down already. That's the several. Yes, now you keep there. Yeah? This is why I always say, try to find the humor, lift the tongue, find the epiglottis, and then go. You are too far now. Go to the epiglottis. This is the epiglottis. Now you go just under the lid, and now you lift up and push with your thumb. Push with your thumb. Go up with the tip. Rotate it to the side. The side will go off here, and then go inside. Now you can let go. Yeah. See the tip. Yeah. And go forward. Push forward. Now go forward. Yeah. Stay above. So this is the upper loop. Yeah. And then you can go down. After you saw that, and you have something that's far down, then you can go down. But you have to see, you know, really every question, you know. You have to have a standardized procedure. So when you do bronchoscopy, you saw on the X-ray there's some problem on the right side. The first thing you do is you go and deflect the left side, everything. Because sometimes you get caught, the attention gets caught with the right side. You start to take biopsy, bleeding. You have all hands full to do, and then you forget the other side and you miss it. Huh? Okay. Good. That was pretty good, but really, what happened? Did you see what happened? She proved, because she was on the left side. She was pushing very hard against the left main bronchus, and the trachea is, you know, there are different bronchial systems that you can use with fat bodies, with tumors, and so for training. So the lower part of the trachea, of the bronchial system, is screwed against the upper part, and when there is too much tension, it comes apart. And I immediately saw it, like it was falling apart. She was so busy with the handling now. But that happens all the time. You know, I give you my unit. I see bronchoscopies doing bronchoscopy. I look to the monitor. I see pathological findings, and they are just too busy to look for one thing, and they just miss it. Seeing is what is seeing, what function. It's mainly functioning of your brain more than of your eyes. When you don't have engram, like the movement of this morning, you know, this looks like this, shoulders, and so on, and so this looks like this. When you don't know what you can see, then you will miss it. This is, you know, this is like take a break, you know. When you hold it, it's nice that you do it. But now make a very delicate movement. This way. You see how stiff your whole system is? You have no control, nothing. So, and it looks awkward.
Yes, you want to take it? Okay. So, well, we introduce it. Introduce the scope, and then show the right knee stem, and reduce remove the foreign object. You're not showing me the metal, but go ahead, go through that. Once you're in the here we go. Exactly. Thank you. Down. Go up a little bit. Yeah. Exactly. Good. And then, perfect. if you can complete that turn, put that level on the posterior wall. Yeah, so another 45 degrees to the right, above it. Okay? So now into the right main stem, we're going to position it there and get our forceps in. So usually it comes in 3 lumens, medium and large, and you have the diameter depending on the manufacturer. So based on what you're doing, trade here, if you want to trade the stem to be the largest. If you want your scope to go all the way to the box, you need to
measure millimeters.
right, and you can always, I mean, got it? Okay. So just when I take the foreign object, forceps will represent them. They want to take that object. Okay. So go ahead with the scope there. Good. So you show me the metal ram. Lift it up a little bit. Okay, stuck on this. Come back. Lift it up. Go to the right. Here we go. Right. Advance. A little bit more. I just want to remove the foreign object. Just, let me give you this one. So
Just take it out and leave it for
Here we go. Here we go. Okay.